Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and in today's video I will teach you how to make this candle flame in Blender procedurally using GeoNodes. You can see this is controllable, like if you move it works fine considering all the movement. Let's dive in the tutorial. Delete the input because we have to add a UV sphere, and let's connect this to the output. Alright, now what I want to do is I want to delete uh, this part uh, this part of the geometry. So the method will be that I will delete all the part where the position of the coordinates will be less than 0 on the z-axis. So I will take a delete geometry, and let's take the position. We only want the position of the z-axis. We will separate xyz, and we will compare. Okay, so uh, we will tell it that delete the coordinates where the z position is is less than 0, means it's in the negative values. Connect it here. You can see it has deleted all the values where it is less than 0. Let's say less than or equal to 0. You can see it works fine. Another thing I want to do is I only want this uh, part over here. It means I will delete uh, this area. So I only want like a ring, half ring. So let's delete that part also. Let's take another compare node, and I want to tell it that delete the x area where it is not equals to 0, because you see at the center of the grid we have values of 0. So like maybe this area will have a value of 0, and the rest will be like 0.1 or 1 2 3 or in negative values. So we want to tell it that delete everywhere where the values is not equal to 0. Alright, let's add these two nodes using math, and you can see it is giving us an output, but it's deleting everything including the faces. So we want to blur that value using epsilon. I don't know if we pronounce it that way, but it's giving us our result. So this is our geometry, and also I want to store an attribute. I will tell you why we do it in the later part of the video. Let's connect the normal. I want to store the normal. Normal is a vector because it has a direction, and let's name it normal. Alright, you can see it has stored the normal values. We will use it later on in this video. Now the main thing is to distribute points on these faces. Let's distribute, bump the value up, and see it is distributing the points. Why we made this like this section is because if you see a candle, it has the lower part of it is like this. If you can tell, the lower part of the candle is like this, that's why we created this. And you can also make it using a curve circle or mesh circle, anything like that, but I use this because we can have more control. Like if I want to change these values, I can change it anytime, and I can change the radius also. So it's more controllable. Alright, let's move ahead. Okay, we have distributed the points, and now I want to take a simulation zone. Let's take a simulation zone, connect this over here, connect this over here. Okay, now let's set position because we want it to go upwards. Let's give it an offset of maybe 0.2. You can see it's going up. What it is doing is that it is at every frame it is shifting these points by 0.4 value at each frame. So what I want is it needs to uh, consider the previous points also, because what I want to do is I want it to generate new points at every frame at 0.4 value. So I will take a join geometry and join the distribute points on face. See that join geometry. Now if you see, it is generating new points at every frame by the distance of 0.4. It looks very sorted, like it doesn't have any random value to it. So that's the seed number. If you play with the seed number, it will generate new like new positions for every point. So let's just connect it with the frame, because at one frame it will have a seed value of 1 and it will keep on increasing by the frames. You can see it is generating new points. Don't worry about these gaps, because once we add noise and volume, it will look fine. So now let's give these particles an age. Let's store an attribute. So let's store an attribute by the name of age, because we want to delete these particles, like they are going uh, they are they have no age, they are just living like turtles. So we want to delete it up to like age of up to 20 they should remain, and after that they should be deleted. Let's just call itself, it is an integer, like age is always 1 2 3 4, not 0 0.1 0 0.3 0 0.2. Connect this, and at every frame it should add a value of 1 to itself. So now if you check this statistics, you can see in the age section, what the hell is the age section? Oh, okay, it is here. In the age section we have a value of 27 at 27th frame at the points which are at the highest, and if you see at the bottom points we have an age of 1, because the points which have just been created has a age of 1. So using this attribute we can delete the points. We can tell that if the age exceeds 27 or 20 frame, it should be get deleted. So let's again take a delete geometry node, and let's call this age and delete the geometry wherever the this age is greater than, let's say, 25. Let's delete this. You can see the points after the age of 20 it's are getting deleted. All right. Okay, if you see at this area, the top area, you can see these are very sharp, like the end is very sharp. So we want to like blur these values so that it looks bit random. Randomness to the, like we are giving a randomness to the lifetime. Okay, so to do that, what we can do is we can take a random node, take a random value, connect, it would be an integer, connect it to this value so that we can control it from here. Okay, so the minimum value can be 20 and the maximum can be for 23. Let's see if this works. All right, you can see it's working. Okay, you can increase these values. Okay, and this looks fine. All right, this looks fine. So I want these two values to be dependent on a single number so that I can control it using one value only. For that, let's take an integer. Okay, let's not take an integer. I also want that this value should be controllable from here. Like I can control that number from here. So I don't need to come again in the geometry nodes and find that nodes. For that, let's take a group input and connect this input to the max value. Okay, the max value is set to 20, and if you see, this is 20 and our minimum is set to 16, so it has basically difference of 4. So let's take a math node and let's subtract the value from the max by 4, and let's give it an output over here. So if you see now, I can control the age along with the randomness in the lifetime by a single number. You can change the randomness by changing this value. You can see, I think 12 maybe looks good. Let's set it to 22. All right, now let's give it some sharpness. Like now if we see a flame, the top part of the flame is like this. Oh, sorry. The top part of the flame is like this. So we need to create that over here. So what we can do is we can we store the attribute, we store the normal before, so we will take in use that normal. Set position, and now we want to offset it by the normal. Like why this will work is because if you see a UV sphere, all right, these are the normals, so we want these values like, but we will do the opposite of it. If they are going in this direction, we will want it to go in the opposite direction. Now we can easily manipulate that, don't worry. Let's go back to this geometry nodes and let's just pin this. Okay, let's call our normal and connect it with the offset. So you see it is doing something, but it's going obviously in the opposite direction in which we want. So firstly I will detect the x value from it because I only want it to be on the YZ plane. Super easy, just take a vector math node, multiply the x by 0 and YZ by 1. Remember to change it to multiply, and now if you see, we have detected the x axis from it. It is only working on the YZ plane. Let's keep going and scale it down in a negative direction. scale it down in a negative direction. Holding shift, I can work on the point value of it. Let's see, it does work. I think this looks fine. Now I only want this effect. I only want this effect to be working in like this area. So what information do we have? We have age. So we can tell it that only do this if the age exceeds a number like 15 or anything like that. Let's take this age attribute and let's tell it that if the age is greater than uh, like 18, then only do this. It is doing, but we can take the scale and lower it down. It will look fine once we add volume and noise to it. I think this looks okay. All right. Can we also do this on the bottom part? Let's see if the age is less than less than or equals to let's say 1. Let's see if it works this way. Math node, connect these two. Is it working? I don't think so. Okay. Okay, it is doing something, but that's not what I want. If the age is equal to 1 or 2 for that part also. Alright, I think this looks okay. Now it's time to add some noise. Let's add another set position and add noise texture. We need to subtract 0.5 from all the axes because it has an average value of 0.5 because the noise texture is black and white. Black and white has a value of 0 to 1 and average value is 0.5, which displaces the coordinates by 0.5 in all the axes. Let's subtract 0.5 and give it an offset. Alright, it is doing something. Let's scale this down. Scale. Holding shift, I can work on the point values. This looks okay. Now I want to again seed it, because if we don't seed, you will see where the problem will lie. So if you see a flame starts burning, it's a bit noisy, but afterward it settles down by time. So to create that effect, what I can do is I can take a number like 500 or 200, anything like that. Let's take a number, and that number will be divided by every frame, which will lower the value of the scale. Let's take a math node and let's take a number like 300 maybe. Now this number will be our scale, so this number will be divided by each frame. So if the frame is 1, it will be divided by 1, which will give us 300. but at second frame it will give 150 because it has been divided by 2. So by the time the scale will reduce and this will also settle down. Not very visible effect, but it will be giving more realism to our flame. Let me just increase this value to show you how this works. And also lower these details and uh, roughness and bring up the value of distortion a little bit. Alright, I think this looks fun. If you take a huge number, okay, I connected it by W by mistake. That's why it wasn't working. Make sure to connect it by scale. Now if you see it, you can see it is settling down. A bit noisy and it is settling down by time. You can increase the scale if you want to effective more prominent look. It is noisy and by time it will settle down. Look, it is settling down. You can take it this number and lower it by half so that it settles down earlier. Alright, you have to take this and connect it by W because you see these lines coming up when we add noise, because noise value is not changing, it is it is constant everywhere, so we need to change it at every frame. So this will work, and let's at the end convert it into volume. Take points to volume node and lower the radius a bit. You can see we've got our base of the flame. This value over here, so I want this value to be affected by this value. Like if we increase it, you can see it is like intersecting and it is like giving this result. It is not very good, so we need to change this value also by time. So you can see it has we have a difference, like let's load it down, a difference of 6. So we can take a match node and subtract a value of 6 from this from our input, which we will be giving from here, and that will be our this factor, and if you see it will work fine. Alright, the next thing we have to do is we have to, so if we move it, you can see it is not reacting to the forces which may be present. So for that, very simple thing, just take an empty and bring it in the GEONODES, and let's go behind and set position. The new position will be same as our empty position, that will be our offset. So now if you move the empty, you can see it is reacting to the forces. Alright, that's it for today's tutorial. I will teach you how to shade it in the next part, because shading is a bit tricky because we don't have any attributes after we convert it into volume. So we need to create that, or we will learn a new way. So thanks for watching my video. Please like, subscribe and share. Goodbye.